Wow, even I found that dramatic. What a dramatic start. Thank you, production crew, that was lovely. Hi guys, and welcome along to another Vault. Sorry I missed you last week, but real life and kind of work took control, and but I'm back with you now, and yes, and yes. Sorry guys, that's Serious G in my ear there, saying that he wants to get straight into the paranormal news. So for this week, let's get into the paranormal news with Serious G. Hello, it's me, Serious G, with this week's paranormal news. Our first story is all about strange UFO sightings over Ireland. But on this occasion, the sightings have been reported by multiple witnesses, including some celebrities. Let's go over to our reporter to find out some more information.
Thank you so much, Serious G. Scores of people were left disputed after reportedly seeing an unidentified flying object in Irish skies. The sightings were made in parts of the northwest overnight, with people freezing good on got an interest among those reporting to see the unknown type of aircraft hovering overhead. The facts of the matter are that most people saw it, saying they were black, V-shaped, or an upside down W, but we don't know because there's no picture of it so far. So we're still left wondering, what was this thing that lots of people saw? Anyway, over back to you in the studio, Serious G.
Look, I don't ask for very much, but please, production crew, can we get some journalists who don't have such strange sounding accents? Look, I did the journalist bit for this next section. Check it out. Thank you so much, Serious G. Yes, I'm Serious G, and I'm here at Rendlesham Forest. For those of you who don't realise, but in the 1980s, there was an incident here at Rendlesham Forest, very similar to that of Roswell in 1947 in the USA. The incident here in Rendlesham Forest involved military from a local base, air traffic control, on the ground local authorities, and also members of the public. All witnesses described strange interactions with bright lights and strange phenomena. However, why this is in the paranormal news recently is a retired police officer has come forward to reveal his close encounter near Woodbridge in December 1980. He has also submitted a photograph on the screen right now. There will also be a link in the description to the Rendlesham Forest Incident details and to this recent article. However, I have been informed that G-Star in the next story time plans to cover the story fully of the retired police officer. Make sure to check that out. Back to you in the studio, Serious G. Thank you so much for that very detailed and easy to understand report there, Serious G. Well, that brings us to the end of this week's paranormal news with me, Serious G. Thank you.
Look, loves, I can't continue to work with all these people with all these funny accents.
Serious
It's
G.
just not right.
Serious G, you're still on.
Who?
You haven't
What?
flipped the camera back to the main vault room to me. You're still on.
Shit. Sorry.
Thanks, Serious G. I think we've got a few things to work on and iron out before next week. That was a bit of a car wreck, but I do agree with you about those very questionable accents from those reporters. So get to work on that, Serious G. Anyway, let's get to the main content of today's video, since it's been about 2 weeks since I started this video because I got bloody sick. and I'm back now, but let's get into it. So, let's just do something. Let's bring some music on or something. Let's have some party or something. Now, for this week's episode, we're going back to this beautiful barren planet that is Mars. And this is a subject that we've discussed quite heavily before on the Vault and also on the Monty Zone. But it's been about a year now since we've come back to the subject. And there's been some developments about a scientist who has made claim that NASA are covering up evidence that totally and 100% proves that life has been on Mars at some point. Let's check it out. Okay, so this is the gentleman or the scientist in question who's brought forward this claim. His name is Barry, and please do excuse me on the pronunciation, DiGregorio. Barry DiGregorio. And he is an honorary research fellow at the Buckingham Centre of Astrobiology, and his scientific interests include the study of geology, geomicrobiology, and the history of the Great Lakes region of the United States and Canada. Barry also studies ichnology, a science which combines the study of dissolution cavities left behind by organisms along with their tracks, trails, and burrows. In the year 2000, Barry published a comparison of dissolution cavities found in rocks on the shores of Lake Ontario to similar-looking rocks imaged on the Viking 2 landing site on Mars. His published papers on rock varnish coatings are well known among the astrobiology community and was first to publish in 2001 that rocks on Mars appear to have rock varnish coatings covering them. Barry also has a personal and professional interest in the search for life on Mars. Aren't we all, Barry? Aren't we all? But recently, Barry has brought forward this claim, which was covered in a recent article. So let's go through that a little bit. Okay, so evidence of life on Mars is being covered up by NASA, claims Barry, who, as I said, is a scientist and researcher from Buckingham University. The agency, as in NASA's Space Explorer, the Curiosity rover, has snapped what may be trace fossils created by soft-bodied creatures on the red planet. This is according to Barry. He also says that he's going to drop a bombshell report soon that will reveal how NASA is aware of the find and has chosen to keep it hidden from the public. And the scientist also claims that the space agency could be ignoring the find because it plans a manned mission to Mars in 2030, when astronauts will explore Mars in more depth. However, according to NASA, the shapes captured on the images from Mars are simply rock crystals that are currently undergoing analysis. The findings that were made by Barry, he specializes in the study of microscopic life found on the soil on our planet. Well, he says that in the images being back from Mars by the Curiosity appear to show patterns similar to, again, pronunciation warning, Ordovician trace fossils, which he's photographed here on Earth. These trace fossils are made by animals going about their lives like footprints and burrows and waste matter, rather than the remains of the creatures themselves. I've got some example pictures of what Barry's talking about. These are from lakes, fossils, these Ordovician fossils found on a lake bed in here on Earth, and he's using them in comparison to some of the pictures taken by the Mars rover Curiosity. And these fossils are found in a geological layer spanning from 41.2 million years ago all the way back to what on Earth we consider the Silurian period, which was 443.8 million years ago. He says that the fossils on Mars represent signs of soft-bodied creatures which once roamed its surface. He also has made statement that if these are not trace fossils, what other geological explanations will NASA come up with? Who knows? This is the big question. Now, NASA has turned its back on trying to get the data on this, and that order apparently came down from HQ that they should move the rover to the next point. They didn't feel it was important enough to look at it, and they thought it was very odd, despite the fact that the Gale crater where the photographs were taken was host to probably a series of lakes for billions and billions of years. Lakes, life, guys. Come on, stop trying to hide it. We're talking about something that might be the equivalent of Ordovician fossils from that period on Earth. That's what NASA are commenting. Now, of course, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I mean, I'm not hiding my thoughts on this subject. There's one episode where I featured a whole thing where I explored photos from the Curiosity rovers for about 3 hours. And these were actual NASA photos. And, you know, this whole episode was just featuring what I found in those few hours. Having studied a lot of photographs of Mars, I'm just at this conclusion that there must have been some form of life and civilization on there before. I mean, you know, again, I've shared umpteen amount of photos, and I've studied lots of photos, and there's so many structures with things like right angles, and they can form naturally, you know, by themselves in the environment, but not to this scale, not so many times as you see it. And it just, there's a lot of landscape that I look at and I just think, yeah, it's signs of a previous civilization. Anyway, as I said, you can believe what you want to believe. Please put in the comments what you think. Now, Barry, in this interview that's, you know, recently been posted, goes on to go into a lot more detail and covers a lot more other space agencies that are doing their own investigations outside of NASA, and it's quite an interesting read. So I've put a link in the description where you can sort of check it out further. But as I say, in comments, let me know what you think about this subject matter, and especially after you go and read that article where we see everything that Barry's got to say. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see what this report bombshell is that he's going to drop, and if and when he does, and I get hold of it, we'll come back to this and have an update as to you know, what that contained, and because, you know, hopefully nothing happens to Barry in the meantime, because sometimes people who've got these big revelations that disagree with big agencies can sometimes disappear, but, you know, that's a little bit heavy conspiracy theory, isn't it? So anyway, good luck, Barry, and I'll keep you updated here in the vault. So that's it from me. It's time to go. As you can see, the lights are dimming down. That's the janitor signaling me that it's time to go. So hopefully I'll see you next time here in the vault, deep, hidden, underground, and we can discuss more paranormal investigations and strange occurrences and thought-provoking subjects. Please check out the next story time that's coming up. That's all about Rendlesham Forest and some really interesting stuff that's come up, and it's a really interesting story, so please check that out. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time here on The Vault. Look after yourselves and each other, and stay safe. See ya.